Let me get this straight. You think edgy characters are good? I do. And I'm tired of pretending that they're not. Hey guys, just a quick reminder before the video starts that if you like this content and other content like this, please subscribe to the channel. It does help me out a lot. Alright, thanks. I am sick and tired of people blaming all their problems on edgy characters. Hello and welcome, I'm Billy the Corgi, and today we're going to discuss what most people in the online D&D community believe to be a massive problem, the edgy character. We've all seen the horror stories, either on here by channels like Crit Crab or Crispy's Tavern, or we've read the horror stories ourselves on the horror story subreddit. From everything we've been led to believe, the problem is edgy characters and or edgy players, right? No, that's a bunch of baloney, and I'm gonna tell you why. I do not doubt that many players / DMs have had issues with certain characters and or players that have edgy traits or are full-blown edgelords. While I am skeptical of every Reddit story, because, well, it's Reddit, I do know that there are thousands of legitimate stories out there just like that, some of which I've even experienced personally. However, to take a few bad experiences from awful players and then label every player / character that uses traits that are even somewhat similar as problematic and should either be reworked to not be edgy or, in an extreme circumstance, even ask the player to leave because they wanted a PC that was on the edgier side is, in my opinion, extremely stupid. Now, I'm not going to tell people they're wrong for being cautious or unsure about how they feel around certain characters and archetypes, and obviously you can ban whatever you want at your table. The problem is we have somehow got it in our heads that edgy characters are the problem when the actual problem is selfish players. The rogue whose parents were killed in front of them and is now out for revenge has become the most, second most memed on cliche in the D&D community. Cliches happen because they work. There's also the barbarian who's too stupid to read and then just gets mad and swings his axe. There's the nerdy, book-loving wizard whose only spell is fireball, and even the horny bard. And while yes, I'd argue the horny bard is just as, if not more, memed on than the edgy rogue, it's done so out of a place of love, or at the very worst, slight annoyance. Meanwhile, the edgy rogue is memed on with bile and vitriol. The first thing we need to figure out is why. What have people done with edgy characters that have caused them to be so hated? Well, like stated earlier in this video, there's a million different horror stories about the bloodthirsty hexblade paladin who murders everyone in his way, or the rogue who does nothing but brood in a corner. But the connecting tissue here isn't the broodiness or the edginess, it's the selfish attitude of the players. These characters don't mesh well with the rest of the party because they don't want to share moments with the party. Why do selfish players have such a high tendency to play edgy characters? Because edgy characters are cool, and people like being cool.
Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
They want to feel special and for people to look up at them with awe, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be cool. I had an entire video about it, and you can click the card in the top right corner here to watch. The problem is they want the game to be all about them. This isn't a problem just with the edgy character. It's a problem literally anyone can have. It's just more pronounced on edgy characters. To prove my point, I want to give examples of edgy characters done well and explain why they were done well. Let's start off with a character everyone knows and most people love, Batman. He has everything people consider edgy. Parents killed in front of him? Check. Likes brooding on his own? Check. Uses violence to solve many of his problems? Check. Likes wearing a lot of black? Check. Is a furry? So what did Batman do right that these edgy characters didn't? Well, it's simple. Batman is still human. Yes, Yes, he has cool moments and does many of the same exact things a lot of the edgy characters do, but he also saves people, takes in kids off the street to act as a surrogate father, he laughs, he smiles, but the thing that sets him apart more than anything from the edgelords of D&D, he's willing to work with other people. He was a founder of the Justice League and accepts that there are things he cannot do that other heroes can. In a game where you have to share the spotlight with 3 to 4 other people, being a team player is the most important feature your character needs to have. Batman still has his moments in the league. He is not lessened because he's with other heroes, and nobody claims his edginess is a massive problem and should be done away with in or out of universe. Now, I hear you saying, come on, Billy, it's the easy example. Anyone can write Batman well because it's one writer telling one story. That's not comparable to D&D that has 5 to 6 players in it that all want to tell their own story. Well, first of all, I disagree with that point of view, but let's share a personal experience I've had with an edgy character at my table. So, if you're not familiar, in my Friday night game, I had a character named Andromeda. While that character has since retired, you can catch the current Friday night game at twitch.tv/BillyTheCorgi at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time every Friday night. Self-promo aside, Andromeda was a half-drow who had a lot of edgy traits we've seen. To give a quick rundown of her backstory, her drow father was either dead or at the very least was missing, and she had problems with her biological family as a result of her drow heritage. Her full human sister received all the love and adoration of her grandfather and mother because she wasn't the daughter of a lesser drow. Eventually, things take a tumble and Andromeda ends up burning down part of her family's house while getting in a fight with the grandfather she hates because she finds out he has been burning letters sent by her father. This culminates in her doing prison time and wanting to seek out vengeance against her family. Obviously, there is more to her backstory than what I have given here, but I only wanted to give you a basic overview. Andromeda hit all the notes for an edgy character. She liked to brood, she liked violence, she preferred to stick to the shadows, etc. But if you asked any of my players right now, I can 100% guarantee you they'd all say they loved Andromeda and that she was one of their favorites of the campaign. And you know what? I'd be inclined to agree. Andromeda was great. I loved her, and her edgy traits were part of her charm. They were not a detriment. But better than that, you know why she was so beloved? She was a team player. She was happy to let other players have their moments. And more importantly, she worked with the party. My point is, edgy characters are not the problem. They can be, but they can and often are done well, and I'm tired of people blaming edginess when the problem is shitty players. I've had friends tell me things like they give an inspiration die for every alive immediate family member the character has that isn't toxic, or that they even outright ban edgy characters, and this instantly rubbed me the wrong way. Obviously, if something makes you uncomfortable, you're not wrong to ban it from your table, but this feels like, at least to me, you're telling people they're wrong for enjoying the things that they do, rather than banning the things that are actually problematic. The point here is, I like edgy characters. I like having them at my table, and I like playing them in my games. They're fun. The problem is not edgy characters. I've had players play awful, edgy characters as well, and I'm not going to get into it here, but I didn't let those ruin edgy characters for me because I knew the problem wasn't the edge. The problem was bad and selfish players. So in summation, if your players come at you and they want to play a rogue warlock multi-class Dampier whose parents were killed and they need to feed on blood to suppress their urges, maybe don't have the initial knee-jerk reaction that this is going to be a problem. We've all had our edgy phase, and it's fun to relive that when we're not teenagers with raging hormones in high school. Hey guys, if you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you're interested at all, we do play D&D over at my Twitch at twitch.tv/BillyTheCorgi, where we have moments like this. The only thing I know is it's somewhere in Jolt. I can.
So the origins are unchoked.
That's what I know.
How will we
It's a
get
dragon. I swear, it's a dragon.
Dragon D's nuts.
What the? I hate you. I feel like Victor gets possessed. and
You guys
says that
are on this so fast. It's uncanny. It's like you've had
It's like a
practice.
reaction.
I like how Richard is trying to keep us on the rails until the moment he hears the opportunity to say these nuts.
And then it's all fair game.
I fell for it.
I
How
hate
could
all of
this
you.
happen to me?
So how
I'd love to see you there. You can also follow me over on Twitter at Billy T. Corgi, as well as join the Discord. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Tell me what you think of the edgy characters, and if you are so inclined, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, have a good one.